that move, we can't relate to that. I roll the dice, shit, if I lose, I'm gon' be shaking back. Cause lessons learned within the loss just elevate the fact that trial and error just the only way. Ain't no escaping that. I wake up, hit 100 push-ups, then I'm at my route. Check on my stocks, see how they looking, then I'm sliding out. When you start seeing your progression, you stop having doubts. And what's the point of having clout if you can't cash it out? True to this game, but I'm a lifer, ayy. Feel like we finna change the cycle, ayy. That's the most success, you know we thriving, ayy. That's the most depression for our rivals, ayy. Could teach a lesson on survival, ayy. You know I'm from the bottom.
What up with it, Wealth Builders? It's your boy, David Bellard, one of the founders of Black Wealth Renaissance Hill, my brother. You already know the vibes. What's good, Jalen?
What's good, man? How you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm feeling blacktastic. You already know we getting toward the end of the year, and we back at it with another fire session of podcast, man.
Hey, man, I'm so excited, dog. I'm feeling good, too, dog. Like you said, blacktastic, fantastic, whatever. I'm just some type of tastic, feeling great. I'm happy to be here on this new episode, but we got another guest that he always come through, deliver fire. He's a friend of the show. He's been here before, but I'm gonna let you do your thing with the intro, man.
You already know how it go, man. You already know. So, like Jalen just mentioned, man, we got
like DJ Drama the intros.
So, like Jalen just mentioned, though, y'all, we got a friend of the show on, man. Electrifying episode last time we had him on, so y'all know we had to bring him back. He's a father, husband, entrepreneur, mentor, business leader, and the founder of the Private Small Business Society, none other than Dr. Jake Tayler Jacobs. What's good with you, brother?
What's going on with it, dog? I get a pound this time.
I told you.
Last time I didn't get a pound. I got a pound this time.
Friend of the show.
I'm good now.
Hey, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say it. Appreciate you for extending the studio. Y'all see this fire setup? This look way better than y'all normally see us looking. So I better see them views on the YouTube. Y'all know we look at real quality now.
Yeah.
But Jake, man, again, thank you for joining us on the show, man. Real brief before we get into it. Yeah. We're familiar with you.
Yeah.
We know you've built. Well, I was 4 companies at the time, a portfolio of 4 companies to 8-figure business as a conglomerate.
Yep.
I'm sure there's been a lot more popping off since then.
Yeah.
Give us a brief reintroduction to yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Dr. Jake Tayler Jacobs, founder and CEO of BizCo Capital. And then we also, what you talked about, we spur off and create an organization called Private Small Business Society, which we'll talk about today. But BizCo Capital is more of a holdings company of our consulting firm, our insurance agencies. We acquired a staffing company as well as a call center, 2 call centers in the DR this year.
Hey,
and
congratulations, dog.
2 tech companies. One is a marketing automation software, and we're one of one in America right now. We have the only bookkeeping and accounting software owned 100% by a Black-owned founder called Pocket Bookkeeper. So we're doing some cool stuff, man.
Hey,
man.
We still got the claps on the board, man. We got to put the clap.
I don't know. That ain't my board.
Yeah.
But no, that's fire.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro. Like, that's crazy just to hear all of the things that you're doing, and even like some of the ways that you're actually conducting business.
Yeah.
Like, holdings company.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, they barely even got a regular structure.
Yeah.
Right? And you're talking about holdings companies and acquiring these businesses. So I know we're going to get into some good things throughout this episode.
Yep.
And I know we want to kind of focus and highlight about the Private Small Business Society as well. And we'll get into all of that. But I guess one of the first ways that I kind of wanted to start this off is, you did the State of Small Business address on Black Friday, right? Yeah. And I kind of just want to talk about some of the things that were talked about in there, why you felt there was a need for a State of the Union Small Business address. So let's start there first. Yeah. Why did you feel there was a need that you had to address small businesses?
I think post-pandemic, what people are starting to see is that the market is reverting back to how the market was prior to 2029. Mm-hmm. And so 2019, excuse me.
I got you, brother.
So 2019 going into 2020, you started to hearing these rumors and thoughts that there's going to be a shutdown coming because of the pandemic, what we know as the pandemic today. And so you started to see people kind of adjust and change, and you start to see revenue increase. But what the market is changing back to a very competitive hard to work through market that was prior to the pandemic happening. And so I'm starting to see, you look at stats, repossessions are at an all-time high, evictions at an all-time high. Entrepreneurs, consumer debts, savings rates are falling beyond measure at a faster rate than it's ever happened in American history.
People tapping into 401ks.
Facts, 401ks. They've been kind of doing it.
But now it wasn't just to like leverage it. Now it's like to live.
To live, correct. Yeah. And then a lot of the banks that were happy about to see a bunch of people borrowing money and doing all, now they're getting up to date on these schemes and the stuff that people have been employing to just get lying on applications to get funding. So you're starting to see the state of small business being a worse state than it actually was prior to the pandemic, because now you have a bunch of people, more than 15 million businesses in 4 years entered the market. You're talking about every year 30% and higher, double on the year prior to, of businesses even being in the market. So you got a bunch of business owners in the market who are honestly underdeveloped. They're not prepared. And now they're realizing, like, wait a minute, there's more to business than just posting something on social media and then money going up. So I felt like doing the State of Small Business America was to address the simple fact that we are not as developed as we should be. There's a lot of entrepreneurs that are slowly going back into the job force and not really talking about that process and that change.
We've been open about it. We went back to the job force.
Yeah, I told y'all, hey, listen.
Yeah, you did. You were one of the first to say, hey, man, you got to go get a job. We'll get a job, brother.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with that, because statistically it actually shows that people with job experience, at least 10 years within a said field, see 125% more in success launching a business. And so when you look at the numbers and you see how many people matriculated into the small business world, you can realize what the effects are. And then if we do not change that, I don't really think that we understand how strong America is built off of the small business. And so when you start seeing so many people talk about don't hire, automate this, that's not business. And then when you have that, now you got a new generation that will be the small businesses of America. If they're anti-hiring, if they're anti-true development, if they're anti-working this stuff out, the state of the economy that we know today is going to be destroyed. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, and right now, like, I'm glad we're having this conversation because it is a pivotal time. With that influx of new businesses that came in during that time, they came in during a bubble, right?
Yes.
During a bubble economy, when the Fed was pumping so much money in to the economy that it was almost impossible to lose.
People were making more money on unemployment than they were working a job.
That's a fact. That is I know people who was trying to get fired to get on unemployment.
I know niggas who, when they was working, they wasn't traveling. Niggas got on unemployment. Niggas was in Miami.
That's a
New York. I'm like, bro, what's going on here?
But like, to say like, we were in a bubble environment.
Yeah.
And so many people's introduction to business was in this bubble.
Yep.
Whereas, like, you could just, like you just mentioned, come online, post a picture, not really have to show your credentials or have any backing to start making money.
Right.
So what it led to is a lot of people coming in thinking shit was sweet.
Yep.
And based on what I read in the report, man, shit ain't sweet, man.
No, sir.
Shit is not sweet. So one thing I wanted to get into with the report, right, because I think it was super interesting. You guys conducted a study.
Yeah.
You interviewed 63 executives.
Mm-hmm.
And can we get into some of the findings of that study?
Yeah, so 63. We interviewed 63 executives that ran $2 million to $10 million shops, businesses. And based on that audit, because, you know, we have a consulting arm to us. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of these executives were looking out to us for consultative work. So we make everybody fill out some type of suitability audit so we can figure out exactly where they were. So these were clients, and some of them we actually had to send away. But these were clients and potential clients that were coming to us for their services to help them optimize and be more efficient. So it's a 200-question survey. You have to do it within a 30-minute span, so it doesn't allow for you to lie. It's yes, no, do you have these things? And what we found was we were in a worse position than we actually thought. These people running $2 million and $10 million shops were getting a 30%, 36% on average grade out of 100% of knowing their business forecasting, understanding their products, their staff knowing the mission of the company, them not having a mission, just selling products just to sell products. That's a scary place to be, especially knowing that some of these places were actually hiring. People were leaving stable enterprise jobs to come work for these forward-thinking or upward mobile moving companies, if they only knew that the leadership had no idea where they were going. So imagine going to go work for a company and then banking all of your entire life on this company when the leadership doesn't even know what they're doing and where they're going. And so that's what the study was revealing and showing.
Damn. So whenever y'all took the findings and the data of that, right, what did it tell you? This is what we need to act upon now. Like,
right.
What
and that's honestly where the Private Small Business Society, we began to start really pushing toward building certifications. Because what we began to see was that there's a lot of people in positions that were not trained or prepped for those positions. There's a lot of people that were put in places because of what they said they did in the past. And in most small businesses, because you need help, you really don't do resume checks. You don't do reference checks. You don't do anything. You're just hiring anyone that seems like they know a lot of what is going on.
If they pass the eyeball test.
The eyeball test. Or you saw more companies that were around a long time that their staff were not doing any professional development or training on up-to-date information, because how they did business in the past, they felt like if we just keep doing this, I'm going to just keep making the money that I need to make. I'm going to keep, getting my salary. The company is going to keep progressing. And what they saw in this great transition into this internet world, doing business hybrid in office and out of office, this is where a lot of these businesses begin to start struggling because your staff was not getting up-to-date information on their specific roles, industries, positions to allow for them to be able to adapt at the capacity that they needed to adapt for the business to thrive. So a lot of these businesses that were doing 2 and 10 million, they were downward trending, but their staff and employees didn't want to change, and the owner didn't really know how to make these changes for themselves. And so when we begin to start seeing these numbers, what we begin to see is that it's not the lack of opportunity and resources, it was a lack of development within these silos of roles or departments, including the CEO was underdeveloped and undertrained, that we needed to start providing these options for them to actually get developed, trained, and certified, so that at least the CEOs, the executives knew that they had updated information, they were trained, they went through practicums, whatever they needed to be said or had, so they can be able to continue to progress.
Something to hold them to a standard.
Hold them to a standard. And that's the problem that a lot of small businesses, we don't have a standard.
No.
And if you think about public companies typically have higher standards, because when you're publicly traded, any wrong thing that any one employee does, it can literally drop the stock of the company
SEC.
and bankrupt everything. So that's why they're big on certifications. They're big on advanced education. They're big on secondary. They're big on higher level education, because at least they know that there is a standard of which you've started something, finished something, and they start looking at the rigor of the university that you came from. So at least it gave them a base point in knowledge that you were starting with basic business principles and information. But when we did this study among small businesses, there's a lot of people in staff positions that never even been to business school, that never even studied fundamentals of business, that never even studied customer support other than being hired in customer support. Because as we know, a lot of black businesses struggle with customer support. Just because someone has a good smile doesn't mean that they're good at being able to help these customers be happy, stay patrons, and continue to move forward. When we seen these problems versus going to social media, posting about the problems, we decided, let's create a solution so that we can be able to train these staff and employees that are within these businesses, give them career pathways and all the stuff to be able to grow and excel.
That's major, man, because again, there's so many times with us that I think about that number, that influx of small businesses. I want to say it was record-breaking in 2021, right? 4-point-something million in 1 year with business filings. A lot of these people, we're talking about the same people who were on social media during the 2020 to 2021 era, where they just read, get an LLC. Go get X amount of dollars in funding.
I took a course.
And then you're instantly going to be rich, or you're going to build generational wealth. A lot of it there's steps missing there.
A lot of steps.
It's a lot of steps missing there.
Yes,
like
sir.
the LLC ain't nothing but a piece of paper.
That's it.
All it's going to do for you is
It's a structure.
legally protect you
Yeah.
in a limited liability.
Yep.
It's a limited liability company. So you still have exposure to
Correct.
and risk, right? We just get into it and we start moving and trying to get these things done. We're so focused on revenue that we don't focus on processes
That's right.
a lot of the time.
That's right.
So now I kind of want to go like just kind of into your personal journey
Yeah.
when it came to building a business, because you made your money in insurance.
Correct.
first, right?
Start. Yep.
So what was it like building out systems and processes like in the business? Because we talk about it. Black businesses often struggle with customer support.
Right.
They struggle with having those defined missions and goals. So how
Right.
do you relay that stuff to employees?
So in my capacity, and I'm glad you brought this up because we're gonna keep digging, I'm sure. In insurance, it's different when you build an agency. It's different because 90% of your staff are commissioned only insurance agents. They eat what they kill.
Gotcha.
So building a support team or big organization is a lot simpler when you're really building a sales team than you building a complete employee-based support organization. Two total different structures that I didn't even realize were total different structures.
On one side, you got independent
Yeah, I got
contractors.
200 independent contractors with 5 internal staff to switch
That's
in
like
the role.
best of the best doing a
Yeah, well, you hope that they're the best of the best, right? But yeah, they're producing and they're revenuing and they're doing these things, and they know that they have to thrive and exceed because their renewals, their residuals, and their commission is based on what they know and how they cater to these businesses. So I can hold you accountable in your independent agency or you as an independent agent in a lot different manner than I could if somebody was just working as a full-time employee within the business. Those are two total different constraints, and there's two different structures. And so in the insurance world, it was easy to be able, I'm just training salespeople how to go get a client, how to service that client, how to keep up to date, how to follow up with them. So that agent becomes customer support, sales, and everything all in one. So it's a lot different in that manner. But building an insurance agency, it was in 22 states. We did a lot of good stuff. We was a number 3 producing agency for Emeritus for 2 straight years, or 3 straight years. And it was fun. It was absolutely fun in the country. Yep.
So how'd you take that and then figure out the other side of business, right? Like the part where you actually have to hire employees full time, and how'd you transfer
taxes, and
how'd you
HR,
transfer
all
some of
that.
those skills over for you?
That was a hard transfer because in the insurance financial sector, you get paid ACH. So you don't even have any dealings with merchant accounts. So I honestly, before 2020, before November, December of 2019, I honestly didn't even know what a merchant account was.
So you had never used a Stripe?
Never.
You never used
in my life.
But it makes sense though if you're getting paid ACH.
It was ACH. Insurance companies pay us out.
You ain't paying them 2%.
Correct.
And I ain't mad at the merchant account.
It add
I ain't
up,
knocking
though.
their hustle, but
It
that
add up.
2% do add up, man.
Yes,
You be
sir.
looking like, God damn,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
That 1,500 just turned to 13
That's right.
something real quick on
That's
me.
right. That's right. And then in the insurance or financial services world, if there is a chargeback, they don't draft your account. It's just a bill that you owe the insurance carrier that you work through when you submit policies.
I got you.
With a merchant account, if there's a refund or a chargeback,
yeah,
they draft in your account. I said, wait a minute, who robbing me, dog? What I sign up for? So going from the insurance world of ACH and insurance carriers paying you out, and then if you have agents, they'll pay them directly if you don't want to deal with payroll. So you're only getting the money that you made, and the insurance carriers cover all, technically, your payroll of your sales team.
Really?
Yes. So unless you are captive, now all the money comes to you and you pay them out. But I didn't want to deal with that. So I just let the insurance carriers pay out my insurance agents. They paid us, and then my 5 support staff, we just paid them salaries from there. But transitioning to online business, making that transition, I didn't want to be in insurance forever, but I thought it was a great stepping stone for me in general. So then we start transitioning to doing more business, traditional business. Now you got merchant accounts, then you have 2 or 3 days you got to wait until it's dropped in your account, and then you got about 3 to 4 months that the money really needs to stay liquid because somebody could ask for a refund or a chargeback that you have to fight. These are all things I learned on the fly, and fortunately and unfortunately, we learned when our business took off online. And so I'm learning a bunch of stuff, duct taping. I didn't even know anything about a Zapier or automation because everything was done manually in my world. So coming into this world, there was so much stuff that I was learning on the fly that I'm just picking up as I'm going, that I'm just kind of processing it along the way, which is the scariest place to be, because you got a bunch of people that's depending on you to be a leader and run this company the same way you did your insurance agencies, but the landscape is a total different landscape that you have to navigate.
You went from being a soldier on the field where you were very familiar with the
Correct.
landscape to now you're in unfamiliar territory.
Right. Yeah.
And you just got your troops and you cutting down the trees as
we going.
As you trying to lead
That's
the
right.
way.
Yeah.
I got a question. So like you got these troops, right? But also you got a whole different set of personnel that you got to figure out how you work with. So what were some of those first hires that you had to go through and kind of learn, okay, I can't talk to you like a salesperson. Right. I gotta
every one of them.
So what was the first hire, and then how did you navigate that part?
Our biggest expense was media team. That was our biggest hire. When I came on social media, I'm very big on buying distribution or partnering with distribution. Because if you got a product or service, you got the system in place. I'm not about to be on social media, build nothing from scratch. So my very first focus was finding a person, a platform, or a company or entity that understood the scape of social media but already had a following, that needed a product or service following. And so my first technical hire was a business partner of mine that started off actually as a client that transitioned into an affiliate that we brought on as a staff member or participating staff team member. And then from there, we built a marketing team around that person. And that was the initial step, because we had the agency stuff done. Because the initial transition online was just to broaden our reach online, but still self-insurance policies. But what happened was, with that broadening of the reach, now we're open to all these type of people that was interested in this be the bank concept, that were not eligible, that didn't make enough money, that didn't have extra money in their cash or, whatever. So we needed to start developing programs that could teach them how to make more money within their industries or within their business so that they could be able to participate in insurance. And so that very first transition was a natural one. Marketing first, because we still had support, but it got really wonky when we started to get further and further away from selling insurance policies and more so programs, courses, books, curriculums. Now you have the majority of your staff, they're not salespeople, they're support staff. And that's when it started getting weird, because you kind of don't really know who have the real capabilities, because in insurance, I can hire anybody and then your results are going to show, because your money is made off of what you sell. And when I'm hiring a team and a staff, it's not the same. You can lie to me, but now we're 3 months in and I didn't put all this time into you. I'm trying to make it.
Getting the result.
It's hard to figure out the ROI that
Correct.
you're bringing me. Like, unless I directly see every campaign that you work on, it resulted this.
Correct.
Like, it's harder to say, okay, this is how much you're actually bringing back to the company.
Correct.
Or saving the
company. Saving the company or bringing it back. And then it becomes, now you have those positions that are not really saving or making money. So how do you pay them? How do you, do that? And then you're dealing with,
challenge.
You see what I'm saying?
Because it's like sometimes what they're doing is important, but
how do you quantify it?
You can't quantify
it. Yeah. And so then you try to create these bonus structures and whatever, and then you want to keep their attention. So then you try to pay them enough to make them want to just only focus on your company, but then you're overpaying for, what they actually can do. And you get all these like things that you learn on the fly that a lot of people are not in a position to learn. And then two, a lot of people, you learn too late and you can't adapt, and your company can end up imploding when you're not structured to be able to handle that.
So I'm glad you touched on that. 'Cause, all right, I'm thinking back. You in the back to that analogy, right? You in there, you exploring this online world, this new territory. You guys expanded real fast.
Too fast, for sure.
Like, can you talk? How much did y'all make?
We introduced a new program. We had a couple of strategic partners that we partnered with. We launched this new product, and we did a product group organization. We did $11 million in 9 months.
What was this product?
It was like an arranged assortment of like financial education.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
like a package.
Like a
deal.
package.
I
Like
got you, I got
every
you,
one
I
of the
got you,
strategic
I got
partners brought a specific specialty to the table. And then we built this like program that was able to give the consumers a cheaper way to get all of our
I
services
got
in
you.
one.
So, some education.
Yeah.
So
So education for sure.
And I asked that question because I'm leading into something.
Yeah.
with it. So you went 11 mil in 9 months. How much were you making before that?
We was ranging between 3 and 5 million a year.
So 3 to 5 million a year to 11 mil in 9 months. That's 3 to 4x what you. I mean 2 to 3x what you guys were doing.
Yeah,
right?
which is unnatural.
Very unnatural. So with that, like we was just talking about how you can be unprepared for stuff like
Yeah.
that. What mistakes did you think you made along the way whenever you guys did it with this rapid expansion?
Well, there's a lot of things I feel like you could, hindsight 2020, you could have done. One, it would have been to, once we started seeing supernatural growth, we should have hired executives that already understood that growth to be able to hold the capacity. But how the organization was structured, you almost had like 5 people, 5 strategic partners that all had equal say. So
That also does not always go well. Somebody
it
got
never goes well, bro.
Somebody got to be.
never
Somebody
goes
got to
well.
have final say.
It never goes well.
It's equal say, and then it's also don't want to take the
Blame.
yes.
Yep.
Equal accountability.
Equal accountability. So it was equal say, but not everybody had equal accountability. And in that structure, one of the biggest mistakes I made, because I was new to the merchant account world, when we developed that product or that offering to the public, it was being processed through our merchant account. And the thing about it, our company was protected from this merchant account, but my personal guarantee was not. And so when we grew too fast and it ended up imploding because of the growth and we couldn't sustain it, staff wasn't even capable of manning it. We had a bunch of people who, when the going got tough, you begin to start really seeing where their true business acumen really was. And it wasn't really that well. And even including myself, I was not ready to lead no organizational structure that had an $11 million growth in 9 months and then finding the right people to hire. So I'm really trying to go off gut and not really experienced, because I've never even experienced being in that position before. Because, natural growth, you typically see 5 to 10% growth on a healthy company every year. So you can pretty much account for that growth strain that you'll have. We see 100% growth in a 9-month span.
Shit.
You understand?
I'm cashing out. It looks like I got a condo
Yeah.
on
Big
my wrist.
Big Willie style.
Facts.
I'm telling you.
And so in that process, everything was in my company's name, because with that new product offering, there was no other groups or companies within that group that actually had a merchant account that was already approved at doing that type of processing like ours were. Because our processing was, we already was doing it. So anybody knows anything about a merchant account, you can't just start a new merchant account and do $1 million in revenue. You have to build a relationship with the merchant account.
Them niggas are gonna
Hold
flag
that
the
money.
fuck out. Man, PayPal, Stripe, them niggas gonna flag the fuck out of that
Because it's a
account.
risk,
You make $2,000 in a PayPal account out the blue. They flagging your shit.
especially if there's no history. So
It was one point where they was holding a lot of our money, and we was just like,
20,000.
yeah, our first relationship with Stripe, they held $150,000 from us, and then our lawyer got involved and they released the money immediately. And then that's when I learned the hard lesson of building a relationship. So not going straight to the merchant account, but reaching out to an account rep, letting them understand your business, letting them know what your revenue has been doing so they can already pre-approve you to the numbers that you're already doing so they can account for it. If you feel like there's going to be a spike in the next month, you got a promotion coming, you call your account rep and let them know. They'll approve you for that window of time, and then you'll be good. But when you're just processing money without any communication, there's a lot of scammers out here, and they know how to kind of do the stuff that they do.
You was telling, you was putting us on some shit.
So,
earlier. I was like, oof.
but so guess what? I didn't know none of this. So it's kind of like you don't even know what you're looking for if you've never been, if you never had to use certain skill sets in ways that you've never used before. If you don't know what you're looking for, to even study for what you don't know what
it's
you're
like
looking
me
for.
telling you to build a house and you've never heard of a nail, a hammer,
Yeah.
a tool, like nothing.
Yeah, and my life depended on, I got to figure it out. And so in that case, in that situation, I couldn't just eject out because everything was in my name. And so now the process is, how can
wait. So you said everything was in your name?
Yes. It was on my merchant.
It was going through your personal.
It was on our company merchant. So it was on our company merchant, and on a company merchant, unless you build with a different merchant account, you have a history.
Talking about your
you have personal guarantee.
Is it your insurance merchant?
No, insurance don't have merchants. Remember, it's ACH.
Okay, I got you.
It's our education and consulting side. That merchant account.
Okay.
Oh, it got blown. It was a headache.
What do you mean it got blown?
A product went out in the marketplace that we didn't have a full a filtering process to be able to determine qualified products. This goes back to quality insurance, making sure that the products are what they're supposed to be. So we end up paying a bunch of refunds back. The merchant account, we end up, going to bat, legally with the merchant account with whatever that was owed or was due that we couldn't fulfill, and then we worked that out. But the case in point is this is a primary structure of it sounds good to make money until the cost of mistakes of making that money cost you more than what you actually earned and retained.
Because I know Sam Bankman-Fried, I know he's feeling it.
Right. And so in that capacity, which is another reason why PSBS was created, because who else is going to actually teach you this stuff? Everyone else is teaching industries, the how-tos, and we teach the why, what, and the when. The how-to is actually the last thing on the spectrum of learning. That is the last thing you should focus on. The why, the what, the when are the most important pieces, because you can hire the how or you can facilitate the how. But the how is the last thing. But if you look on social media, it's nothing but how-tos. So a bunch of people are learning from these how-to courses, how-to conferences, how-to YouTube videos, and thinking that translates directly to a job or a career, but it doesn't, because how-to, it just teaches you how to do the stuff and put it together. It doesn't teach you when you're supposed to implement it. It doesn't teach you why it's important. It doesn't teach you all the what's of that industry or of that service when it comes to regularity, when it comes to, absolutely. And so those are the pieces that I was missing. I was learning the how-tos, merchant accounts, but I didn't know the what of the industries. I didn't know how long a chargeback or a refund could last. I didn't know none of that.
Let's talk about chargebacks real quick, because you right now, like everything that you're sharing with Private Small Business Society, it makes a lot of sense as to why you would start this. Yeah. Because your personal journey has brought you to a point where, like, if this was an issue that affected me, I know other business owners have.
And the fact, on top of that, D, not to interrupt you, but we were able to sustain and get through. A lot of people can't take a $4 million loss and still be in the same business that they were in. But the fact that we had and have legitimate businesses that are not all dependent on the same merchant account or our insurance agencies, we still got that, that was processing us through.
So that's where that holding company comes into play.
Right.
I got you.
So, yeah, with the chargebacks, Jake, you just mentioned it's a $4 million loss. Was that related to that?
Yes, 100% related to it.
So let's talk about the chargeback rules, because, we when I hear chargebacks more times than not, I think of people trying to scam on you. Right. People go and get products and then being like, oh, I never received it. And then
you do have
digital
that.
products.
You do have that.
So that's what I think about more times than not. But I didn't know there was like a statute of limitations on chargebacks. I kind of figured if I put no refunds on my website, ain't no damn refunds if you got the product and I can show it to the merchant, right? Right. So, like, can you kind of get into that?
Yeah, so you talk about chargebacks and refunds when it's mismarketed, when the product doesn't necessarily do exactly what it was supposed to do, to the T that it was marketed. So, like, if you were to market the product and then also expose all of the risks of getting the product, what it could or could not do, is almost like prescription pills. If I take a prescription pill, but I also see all of the defects it could cause, that actually kind of protects the company.
May call
diarrhea,
all of that shit.
Right. So if you talk about a product and it may cause you lose your entire savings, and then they signed on it or they did, something like that, it'll be in line. Yeah. The deal that we dealt with in that capacity, and then I would love to move on, but the deal that we dealt with is that a lot of these people that got this said product actually signed NDAs and contracts that said that they couldn't get a refund or whatever. They understood the risk. But the issue that I was having was an integral issue, is the fact that a partner that we were dealing with, it feels like they knowingly knew that product was not going to be what it was supposed to be. And when you're, and this is one of the biggest things about protecting your company. When you are partnering with people, strategic partnership, you have equal say and equal whatever, you're expecting that everyone is going to be holding themselves to the same standard of which you operate business, and that their track record actually is what it's supposed to be. And so you're just taking their word for it. Because other than that, what else can you, there's a bunch of people that say, I didn't go to college, but I made $1 million. I didn't go this. But having certifications and having degrees and having regulatory bodies that can be able to regulate, if you are who you say that you are, brings safety to the consumer in future partners that you do have. So we didn't do our normal background checks. We didn't do our normal stuff that we typically would do, that we can do our caution tales. So when a product went out into the market, it didn't go through quality assurance of products. We kind of went on, what someone said, and then the product didn't do what it was supposed to do. And by the contracts they signed, everyone was locked into the contracts. We didn't have to give anything. But in all honesty, I didn't feel good integral-wise to be able to and then keep moving, like knowing the fact that, so we took a hit that we honestly could have fought, we didn't have to take. But publicly, I never wanted our brands to be associated with anything that would have done anyone ill will purposely.
And so I think David's question wasn't more so on that part. It was like, what are the statute of limits with like chargebacks? Like, how long can they wait?
So that depends on the product.
Okay.
It depends on the product and the industry. Some can stretch as far as 3 years. And most credit cards, if they use a credit card, they protect it for 6 months.
Okay.
So just because on your site you say 30 days, no money back guarantee, or 7 days, no money back guarantee, if the banks or other regulatory bodies feel like that's predatory, and they wouldn't have had enough time to go through the product itself to know if it was actually what it was supposed to be, then there's no way. So a lot of people do these programs to where it's like a 24 hours or 7 day money back guarantee, but you can't even unlock the rest of the information until after the 7 days.
Gotcha.
So how can you actually do a litmus test to be able to know?
Okay.
That is, and so you have to be able to prove that they got the information, prove that they went through the information, and prove all those other things. So it's not what people think. If you just put on your site no refunds, it doesn't work like that. Because by law, if I'm a consumer and I'm using consumer products to be able to purchase your products, I am protected through the consumer rights through that.
Got you. And that's good news. I mean, that's good information for anybody that's in that digital space too.
Yeah.
Making sure you protect yourself in that regard.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, whenever I think of chargebacks, I always think about the stories I hear from my friends who are course creators. And they'll talk about how people will buy the shit, not open it, and immediately request a refund. It's like, if you were... I always just, in my head,
they got buyer's remorse real quick. They just wanted to
super quick. It's like, did you even give it a chance?
But this is my thing as a merchant, which is what a business is. And you talking about in merchant account standards, the merchant is the business. The merchant processor or the bank is the ones who process the merchant accounts or whatever. So as the merchant, integral wise, you're supposed to leave that room. What's happening is that these course creators are spending the money before that person. So if I do have buyer's remorse, I should have the right.
That's a fact, because I definitely return shit at the store.
Everybody
you can
do
return
it.
Stuff at Walmart. You can return stuff on Amazon.
Correct. So with
you return stuff to Shin.
Right. And so when you talk about the merchant, if I bought it and I knew I bought it out of emotion and it's not a fit for me, I know I'm not ready for it, I should have a right to immediately ask for a refund. And it should be granted to me without question. And so that's the difference that you see, again, business acumen. If I'm learning how to create a course from a course creator that only created courses from someone that taught them how to create a course, and there's no business basics that are taught when it comes to consumer laws or operating as a business, I think if you bought this, it's my right to keep it because I delivered something to you. And that's not protecting the consumer who's purchasing the product. If I'm running a business, that money that is spent should be in some type of reserve for a period of time. And then after that waiting period, now I can use it for my business, which goes to business management, proper financial literacy on the business side that's able to make sure that that's not an issue. If the money is kept on the side after you purchase and I ask for a refund back immediately, and you can see I haven't opened it, what is it for you just to click refund on your merchant account and just send it right back to them? It takes nothing.
Because if I didn't spend the money, if it's just sitting there like it should be, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because now I want to get into that aspect of it, right? In the private small business society, you just talked about financial literacy as a business owner. Kind of familiar with a few of the programs.
Yeah.
Can you explain the certifications that are offered by the Private Small Business Society and how they kind of address some of these issues we're talking about here.
I got it. So I'll talk to you them and how we have them in like almost like packaging. Okay.
Okay.
So we have the career pathways package, and then we have the executive fellowship package. Currently in our executive fellowship, we have three PhD earned doctors. We have 4 people that have MBAs. We have someone who actually went to the Wharton Business School, which is an Ivy League business school. That's a part of our executive fellowship. And every one of them said that our certification process is extremely extensive and practical for small business use. So when you talk about the different things.
So they're like the test group.
Yeah, they're the test group. They're a paying test group.
I got you.
Yeah, but yeah, they're a test group.
Hey,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah, and so and then one of our participants is a former vice president of a university. And so, and she's working with us to help get our certifications to partner with HBCUs as an alternative education source because of what she went through. So the information is extensive. But when you talk about the different pathways, you have the career pathway and the executive pathway. The career pathway teaches you all the fundamentals of small business. So we have our standard certification, which is our a small business professional. And that teaches you all the basics and structures of a business, from HR all the way to financial literacy as it pertains to managing books for businesses, customer support, product development, and how to handle all those things. Because we believe, David, that if anybody is getting into a business, whether I'm being hired or I'm running a company, everyone should understand the basics, fundamentals of business.
That makes sense. Again, going to that analogy Jalen said, you can't build a house if you don't know what nails, hammers, and screws are.
Correct. And so based on the pathway, we have anywhere from working within a business as an entrepreneur or working on the business as an entrepreneur. We have different pathways that they can take. And it's dependent upon personality. See, here's the biggest thing that people don't realize. A lot of people are failing at certain endeavors or certain positions in companies because their personalities don't fit the role. And so if I'm not an analytical person, I shouldn't be in any job positions that requires
me to be analytical.
Right? I'm underperforming. And if I underperform, I don't get seen to my value. Then I think that the business doesn't value me. But in truth, I'm out of place. But that's the job that I said I wanted to do. So we do the personality test. From the personality test, it tells you what your personality traits are. And then based on your personality trait, we have recommended pathways that you should take. From marketing professional to operations, HR, all those things. So once they get their SBP, they can choose a specialty. The specialty is typically recommended based on their personality.
Gotcha.
So research analyst, product developer, operations, HR. We have a product development. We have sales professional. We have marketing professional. We have these specialties, project management, that they can kind of get into. Once I get the specialty, then we start focusing on what industries most interest you. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
And so after the specialty, the next one in the career pathway is now executive trainer. Most people want to be managers and leaders, but never have been taught how to actually train someone, how to lead someone. So just because I have an opportunity doesn't mean I'm the best at leading people in that opportunity. Just because I'm good at doing a specific skill set doesn't mean that I'm actually going to be a good manager, managing other people, facilitating that skill set. And a lot of us have had managers that were trashy managers.
Facts.
That were really good at what they did, but were terrible at managing people and understanding different characteristics and learning styles to get the best out of you as a leader. So once they get that career pathway, we've literally prepared them to go be a manager. Now, they don't become a manager immediately, but you can manage, you can lead, you can do those things.
You have the skills track.
Correct.
The skill set as well.
Correct. And what we found is that there's a lot of people who actually got into the entrepreneurial road because they didn't know where to go. They didn't know where to find jobs and opportunities. They didn't know where to find careers that best fit them. If you look up statistically, career-minded people who are in a career field for 10 plus years have a 125% increase in their ability to actually produce a successful company when they launch it. 125% in comparison to people who have no experience that are trying to start a business off the whim of passion and not experience. So what we teach is that if you want to be a CEO or an entrepreneur, how about you go in the industry that you want to be in and you go up the pathway? You learn all the intricacies of the business. You learn the laws, the regulation, the hot seasons, the bad seasons, and you can get paid while you're learning. And then when you feel like you've learned everything you need to know about that industry and you get the certifications that you need, now you go and start your company in a better position, not coming in as a novice, because that's the why, the what, and the when. So when you're working a career, you learn the why, what, when, and how. So when you go run your business, you already have all 4 of the components when we talk about our comprehension model. Now, after you go through that, then we have partnerships that we're building with staffing agencies. And we have thousands of businesses that we partner with, that once you go through our certification process, we can get you placed. The best thing is that what most people don't realize is that when you're in the entrepreneurial world and you try to go back into the career force, it's hard to get a job because they see you as unemployed for 2, 3, 4 years.
And not even just that piece too. This part up here too, mentally, you gotta change some shit just so that you can go back into the workforce.
That's right. That's right. And so we help with that. We help that with the business. With businesses, we teach businesses how to be more forward thinking with hiring entrepreneurs. An entrepreneur is somebody that has the capabilities of being an entrepreneur. They're free-minded. They think well. They think against the curve. They're not yes men. They can perform on their own. You don't have to look over their shoulders. Mm-hmm. So those are the type of people that you want in management and leadership and executives, right? And embracing, getting more small business to embrace those type of people, because what we found in our surveys is that a large majority of people that went to go start their own businesses, they left not because they were looking to get rich, but because they wanted to be appreciated, heard, feel fulfilled, that my ideas that I'm bringing to the table actually are being heard and being implemented, and I can be compensated for what I bring. So we're changing the way even small and mid-sized businesses even see what they consider employees, to be more stakeholder partners. If you have an idea and we implement it, why can't I work you into the profit share for your idea to make you feel like with this innovation that I'm bringing a company, I can be compensated no matter my position because of my ability to move the company forward. So that's that relationship that we're building with businesses, as well as we're training people to get certified in these different endeavors. So if somebody was running a company in the career pathway, say you wanted to be a CEO, Jay wanted to be head of marketing, and someone else wanted to be operations. Typically, y'all will go to YouTube University or take the same programming course and try to learn stuff on the fly. Now with us, you can get certified. You can go through your CEO pathway. He can go through the marketing pathway, and your partner can go through operations pathway, and y'all can finish out at the same time and have all the basic knowledge to be able to make that business shake. But the beauty of it is the other side. It's the executive fellowship. Now you're talking about in the first level, which is the executive small business professional. Now you're learning how to run a department. Now you're learning how to run budgets. Now you're learning strategic partnership. Now you're learning leadership on a much more higher level. You're talking about now you're getting prepped to run organizations that have maybe 10 and plus employees. Now you said
this is the executive
fellowship.
That's
the executive fellowship. That's that executive certification process.
So how does that differ from the small business professional in those earlier learning tracks?
Right. So the earlier learning tracks are all mainly fundamental in specialties, okay, based on whatever role or position that you're playing within a business. When you go to executive small business and the senior executive small business, now you're looking at more departmental in the structure of the company as a whole. Mm-hmm. So I'm going from thinking in a silo based on the position I'm bringing a company, or the role that I'm playing within my business, or the role I'm playing within a business, to now I have to think about how my department can affect other departments, how my small business can affect the market in all those other cases. So that's the executive level. And then the senior executive level, you learn every department, how to run every department. Research, sales, marketing, product development, every position that's needed, all components of the department that's needed. Those are the people that want to be at the director, executive, or CEO level of their business, so they can understand the full functions of an entire company, so that they know where they need to be and where the company needs to be.
Gotcha. So with that, what are the requirements to get into the executive fellowship and the senior executive?
Yeah, so executive and senior, they're pretty steep. In order to get an executive, you have to at least be a part of a business that's been doing $500,000 a year on average for the last 3 years. Okay. You have to be managing at least 10 employees at the time and have at least 3 years of experience in managing. So you can be in a company that's doing that, and you've managed at least 10 employees, or if you're running a company, your company has to be doing $500,000 and up. And then you can't even get into the senior executive program unless you have your executive small business certification. Yeah. So these are all stepping stones where you have to complete one certification to get to the other. Other than that, everyone starts at the SBP getting that basic certification and building on top of that.
So I kind of want to, we just got into a lot of it, and I kind of want to dig from the consumer side, right?
Got it.
Your background is in education.
Yes, I was
So
certified licensed to be a teacher.
it sounds like a lot of thought has went into this program,
Yeah.
right? How many years did it take you to develop this?
As far as certifications, intentionally about 2 years, but we've been building out all of these within our businesses because we've been doing consulting for a long time. So we've been implementing these systems into businesses over time, and training, employees as well as employers, for nearly 11 years. Now, when it comes to the structure of the entire school, that's been being built ever since, I was in my education department, trying to figure out how I can make that transition. But in my perspective, my biggest concern was that there's a lot of people that were teaching business or in colleges or in courses that actually never built traditional offline and online businesses. And so for me to start this institute, if you will, or this certification in professional development, for it to be respected, I knew that I needed as a businessman to go out there in different industries and produce the same result many times over before we built this, so that people can know that the information that you're getting is not from people that regurgitated how-to information. These are people that built 5 multi-million-dollar companies from scratch, all debt-free, in different industries, offline and online, that can help be able to position you, moving forward. So as we partner with businesses, they know we're just not trainers and recruiters. We know what the small business needs because we have run small businesses. We actively manage small businesses. And this is just a piece of one of our organizations. And then 2, the person that wants to go through our executive track or our career pathway track, they know that they're getting up-to-date information that will allow for them to stand out against the people that's going after those same clients or after those same job positions.
So how much easier did you having the teacher experience make it? Like how much easier was it for you to develop this from that lens? Like, okay, I got experience creating curriculums.
Yeah.
I've got experience with understanding that there's different learning styles.
Yeah.
Like, what was some of that thought that went into this process?
It's absolutely easy, especially when you go to school for it. So, and I like to toot my own horn. I was number 1 in my class. So I took this piece seriously, and then being raised amongst educators and pastors, writing lesson plans and writing books and then writing, it's natural. And then writing the curriculum to make sure that it actually matches up to the different learning styles that are needed. And so understanding these learning styles, having quizzes and practicums and cornerstones and a presentation where they can see the video, the audio, and then the books, actual curriculums that they can hold. Amir, if you can bring me the curriculums, please. The curriculums that they can hold, it brings about education as a whole to them so they can be able to process the information that they need.
Makes sense. And just kind of building on what Jalen was saying and what you were sharing with us while we were waiting on the physical copies. What I can respect about it is that it's not just theory, right? This is from practice. This is something that, because you've been able to build out businesses. Y'all check these out, right? Check these out. Man, I'm gonna go grab a big one. Look at this.
That's
joint.
the small business executive one. Yeah.
So this is the small business executive fellowship, right?
Yeah, that's the certification. So the fellowship is a combination of these two as well. Yeah.
So the senior executive. So this is the executive fellowship.
Yeah.
Two curriculum.
I gotta show.
Okay.
So look, boom. That's the first one.
That's the workbook that goes with that one.
Oh, if y'all listening, by the way, y'all might want to go to YouTube,
y'all might wanna
so y'all can actually see what we're talking about.
Hey, listen, those ain't those ain't 80 big fonts. Those are that's that good stuff.
We getting into the nitty gritty here. Financial planning and
McGraw
analysis.
Hill.
Real talk. Business Hill.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember paying that damn money for them damn books.
Yeah,
Never
they're
forget
gonna hit you.
So with these different programs, right? We're looking at curriculum here. Typically, how long does it take to get through these programs?
All right, so for the small business professional certification, which I believe that everybody that's working within a business, entry level, no matter the department, all the way up to executive, needs their SPP, because it makes sure that everyone is on the same standard. So I can't expect for you to do right by my business if we coming from different learning standards. So every business needs to be on the same standard. You're learning what I'm learning in the way that I've learned. So I know that there is no gray areas when we're talking about this. So when you talk about the small business professional, it'll take 2.5 to 3 months to finish. Going the career pathway with the small business professional and choosing one specialty and finishing your executive trainer track, it'll be about 5 to 6 months for you to finish.
Okay, that's not bad. Excellent.
Yep, 5 to 6 months. And after 5 to 6 months, you do your professional development, you've passed your certifications, and all certifications are exam. All of our exam certificates, as well as the digital badges, are digitally done. So the moment that you pass, when you get the passing, and then we say that you pass, you'll get your digital badge and your certification.
Explain the digital badge, Jake.
So what digital does, it allows for employers or even clients to be able to scan your digital badge to see that you've passed certain requirements and your certification is up to date. Gotcha. That you've done the work. And it's like separating the wheat and the tare. So many people talk about all these results that they've done, but if I can go look at your badge and see this certification, I know that you're being held to some type of regulatory body, that you're committing to ethics and the standard of doing business. That if I don't like the way that you do business, I can report you to this regulatory body that can now look at what's going on to determine if you're going to keep your certification or not. I think that's important. I think the standard of how we operate business as a small business, because of this ever-growing internet world, that we need something that people would opt into to say, I want to be held to the standard, so that people know that if I have this certification, they know that I'm opting to do the best that I can to give you the best experience as an employee or as a client. So that's so it'll take about 5.5 to 6 months to complete, and then going through the executive fellowship is a 3-year program. So when you talk about if you were to go from beginning to end, you're talking about 3.5 to 4 years to finish. But by the time you finish, you're absolutely going to be considered somebody who knows business, the in and outs. And when you get to the executive fellowship side, a lot of it is practicum too as well, which means implementation. We spend a lot of time doing homework, case studies. They got to submit homework. They got to submit product pitches, a bunch of types of stuff to make sure that they are actually implementing the information that they're receiving.
That's so good, man. Yeah. And as you're describing this, I'm thinking of it like a vocational MBA, right?
Yeah, it's like a vocational business school. Yep,
like a vocational business school where you can come in, actually learn these skills and implement along the way. And I think it's a great idea with what like you're building out here with PSBS, because myself, right, getting into business, it resonates with my story.
Yeah.
We got into business as people fresh out of college. We didn't really know what it is exactly we wanted to do.
We know our talents was being wasted at our job.
I got you.
We was making like $30K a year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Frustrated. Like, man, fuck it. Entrepreneurship, the only way we gonna make some money.
Right.
So like we get online. We don't really have the whole business acumen. We don't have this base knowledge. I was a biology major in college. I ain't gonna learn all that shit these other guys learn.
That's right.
So like, it was purely off the muscle. And yes, we've been able to build something amazing.
Y'all done great too, by the way.
So I went to school for business, but even with that, they teach you.
Can we talk about that?
We talked about it earlier. Yeah. They teach you the theory. Like, I wanted to tell y'all that earlier. Like, my projects, I think I had like 3 or 4 projects total that I had to do. One of them was like a marketing project where I had to market a business. Another one was this like senior level project. I don't even remember what the fuck I had to do.
Like, whenever you say you're doing these projects, there's no real world
experience.
So this like, is simulation.
Yeah, like that type of.
So for in our world and what we believe, like, so we have the CEO pathway. If you want to be a entrepreneur, you want to be you want to run a business. It's in our intention, because the difference between like a vocational route of us versus, like you were saying, university. Vocationals like trade schools, those things, those are more practical, directly to the job force. College is more theoretical, like theory, broad range and thinking.
They expect you to get your experience through an internship.
Now watch this. Now my issue that I have with colleges, okay, you spend a bunch of money on recruiting people to your institution, but not the same money in placing people. That's the problem that I have with universities. So I'm making all this money to get you in. I want to keep you. I want to get you to buy the books. I want you to get you all this other stuff. But you got to go. Like, bro, there were so many times where I saw my peers like trying to go find internships and don't even know where to look. So it's in my heart. If I go to
the
school,
most they'll do is a career day type shit for you.
Facts. And in my case, if I'm going to school for entrepreneurship, I should be leaving this camp with a business that's operating, that's producing some type of income, that's done the research, not getting this idea to pitch it to investors or to get funding. It should be already enacted. If I am going through my track where I want to eventually be a COO or a CMO or CTO or head of research, I need to be in industry. I need to be placed with a company that will allow for me to stretch my wings and to implement all this stuff that I learned. And then when I finish that contract or that period, I can come back to PSBS and say I'm ready for my second placement. And then PSBS places you with something that's a little higher, that's a little bit more challenging, that can build your portfolio. So by the time they go through our program, if they go through it the right way, we do the placement for them. So from one career or from one industry or to in the same industry or from different industries, we're placing you to build these portfolios so that you can make money while implementing what you're learning. And they all know that you're not going to be with them but 1, 2, 3 years. And if you love it there, you can sign to come full time. If you don't, we can replace you with someone else that wants that position and then get you another placement. It's really bridging the gap, because on the staffing agency side, they just find what you already know how to do. Mm-hmm. They look at your resume and they try to go get you some type of entry-level positions that you can do whatever contract. On the college side, they just want to teach you theory. And then
like a fat ass check in the process.
Facts. And then on the trade school side, it's only specific to an industry. So what makes us different is that we're not specific to an industry. We're teaching all of the basic fundamental principles that can allow for anyone to be able to adapt post any industry. Then we place them in the industries that they want, so that they can get the experiences that they need, and then we continue to move it from there. So we're a hybrid of a college, a university, and a trade school and staffing agency all in one, to ensure that these people that need better jobs and opportunities can actually get the training and support that they need to be able to grow and expand.
So is your goal to become accredited?
It just depends on regional and national. So the thing with accredited, and a lot of people have it misunderstood. When it comes to accreditation, most accreditation has a lot to do with wanting to get federal funding. If I want to get accredited, that means I want federal funding so that somebody can fill out FAFSA and get money from the government so that the government can be able to see it. Or two, I want the accreditation because I don't have the network of businesses already or a network of people already, so I can leverage this accreditation to say, hey, I'm accredited, so that's why you should work with me. But we don't need it because, one, we've already been proven in the business world. Two, we already have thousands of businesses.
Streets, nigga.
Yeah, we already have thousands of businesses that already see they see our concept and want to work with us. We have businesses that already agreed, Jaylee and D, to say, hey, listen, we'll be the apprentice company, where they can come every 6 months to a year. We can give them 6 months to a year contract where they can come work it out, because all we have in our budget is $20 a month. Just $20 an hour. All we got is $20 an hour. We don't want any more top level positions. We want to keep this thing where it is, but we want innovation to continue to have it in and out the business. Well, guess what happens? I can continue to place somebody for their first 6 month or year contract within an industry that they have no experience with, a company that knows that they're training them to go to another position. So when you have those relationships, you don't need accreditation to back you up. The only thing that is needed now is for people that matriculate through the program, for them to actually see the results. And we've already seen it. We've had people sell their companies. We had people buy businesses. We've had people get promotions up to $30,000 increase in promotions. We had people lock in their first contracts where they opted out from being an employee because they wanted to be a contractor, and then was able to lock in $150,000, $180,000 contract when the salary was only going to pay them $80,000. See, we already have these things working. So when you have the function of it working, proof of concept, in the relationships directly with the people, no middleman, I don't need an accredited body to try to take credit of stuff that we've built already, so that you can build the accreditation off of us, and we don't have any ownership in that accreditation. Our goal is to become the accreditation for small businesses moving forward and professionals ourselves. So tagging ourselves to another regional or national certification or accredited body that has been proven not to be open to change. All the businesses or schools, or trade schools that end up getting accredited end up all operating the same way because the same regulatory bodies are held by the same people that are being held to the old traditional way of education. And I don't know if people have seen by now, don't nobody trust universities and schools no more.
Nah, that trust factor's falling. I seen an article recently that said that enrollment by black students was at the lowest it's been probably since the 80s. And
this is what you got to understand. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you brought this up. When they took vocational and trade schools out of high schools, you saw the black communities begin to suffer. Black, Latino, and minority, we call them BIPOC. You got black, indigenous, people of color. Okay, when you have that BIPOC, that group of people, we all needed. We needed to go straight to the
real blue collar workers made money.
Most of us that actually made money, and let me talk about.
My dad a mechanic.
We finna talk about this.
Let's get into it.
Because listen, when you think about the notion of where majority of our wealth and stability came from, it came from trade school. Because we, as a BIPOC people, we could not afford to not go straight to the workforce to help mom, dad, sister, cousin, brother, auntie out. We had to go work. So but when universities saw a commodity and they pushed trade schools out of high schools and start forcing people to go straight to universities, now I got to get hired by this big enterprise or whatever, and I'm learning stuff that's not even applicable to the trade that I actually want. And let me get even furthermore in detail in why course creators today and gurus today are destroying our economy and not realizing. Let me tell you why. Because you do not judge the quality of an economy based on money flowing in and out. You judge the quality of an economy based on its workforce, its labor force. So if you have a generation of people that do not want to work, and they want easy money, because what's been marketed is that that's the only way you can make the money of your desire, your dreams in this online space, and not real, actionable, traditional or hybrid type of career opportunities. Now I'm creating a whole group of people that's not going to want to work. That's why we have 9.6 million job openings open right now in America. 9.6. Forget what they telling you on this internet. They saying jobs and people laying off. There's 9.6 million job openings open right now. There's 806,000 in the state of Texas of job openings right now.
And I want to clarify that, because like, when people hear that, oh man, there must be jobs nobody want. Nah, you go look, it's jobs that people want.
They quality.
I'm out of work right now looking at shit. They got people listing COO, CEO.
Bro,
These
facts.
Are all jobs that are available.
But let me break it down to you. 90% of the people, quote unquote, running businesses as bosses today would never even be able to land a CEO job that's open right now.
Oh, I'm 100% sure. I wouldn't land a CEO job.
And let me tell you why? Because they ask you, what are all the what departments have you managed? What has been the largest organization that you've had? And you got all these people teaching all this crazy stuff, bro. Automate everything, just use technology, have no staff, and then when the market changes,
brought that back up because I want to get into that after this.
When the market changes and you got to go back to work, the job force only sees you as a marketer or a salesperson, which is why majority of entrepreneurs only can get jobs in sales or in marketing or customer support, maybe at the entry level, because honestly, running your online business, that's all you actually did. Majority of people cannot go get CEO jobs right now. And there's a lot of opportunities that are open to diverse CEOs, but we can't even qualify for those positions because we're not equipped for those positions to even man those positions themselves.
That makes sense, because you can't really call yourself a
that
CEO.
boy on fire right now.
You can't call yourself a CEO if you don't have a staff, right?
And if you don't have an executive suite.
Because like, what was the statistic? I was just looking at this. 94%.
You ain't even got a board of directors.
Yeah, so how you a CEO?
94% of black-owned businesses are single-member LLCs. So it's like sole owner.
That's just not black though.
They don't have staff.
That's not black. That's
most businesses.
Yeah, most businesses.
I know for black people it's higher.
That's facts.
Like I want to say the general number is somewhere in the 80 percentile, and for black people we're like 94, 95% of our firms don't employ people.
That's right.
It's like, how can you call yourself a CEO, like you just said, if all you got is some Zapier integrations, a couple, like you just leveraging technology.
That's it.
Basically. but you don't have a team.
Barely leveraging. You pay somebody to build it, and now you just calling yourself a boss. And then on top of that, oh my gosh, there's so much to. All right, so let's stay. So let's just talk about this. Let's just talk about the fundamental function of what a small business is supposed to bring to the economy. A small business within a community, taxes, job opportunities. When you look at donations and foundations created or grants given in a community, is given by small businesses. Jobs and opportunity. 61% of the job force is small business. Yet everyone online is talking about how you don't need to hire, is too much of a burden. No, being an entrepreneur and a CEO is a responsibility that you have, that you must provide jobs and opportunity, that you must provide career advancement, or you must be some type of place that you add value to the community that you're in, because the community needs small businesses to thrive, because the backbone of America is built off of small businesses.
That's why they give us all them tax breaks.
So even in this concept,
Why you think Amazon and them wasn't paying taxes?
bro, Amazon is built off of small businesses.
Facts. They hire small businesses.
Go to
run
Amazon and
all
buy
them
right now.
freight.
Small businesses are the ones that are facilitating marketing. And
That's why it's fulfilled by Amazon.
so if you even look at it, at its core, so for small businesses to even operate, like, bro, there's a study that says, can't think of the study right now, but I know it's in the report. Or if it's not, it's going to be, it's in one of the white paper we do on LinkedIn for sure. We do white paper Wednesdays now. For every Wednesday, we have a white paper that we go over to kind of keep people up to date on what they need to be paying attention to. So it says that the average small business entrepreneur, this is including all demographics, not just black, makes about $75,000 a year on their own. But the average small business entrepreneur, a solo entrepreneur, works 70 to 90 hours a week.
I can believe it.
That's
Now watch
definitely
this.
realistic.
Let's do some math. This is
at least-
75,000.
That's at least 10-hour days every day.
Jay, this is $75,000 a year, not including taxes being taken out. So 75,000 divided by let's say 80 hours a week times 4
You probably getting paid about $10 an hour.
times 12 months. That's 80 hours a week times 4 times 12 months.
40.
3,840. Okay, so 75,000 divided by 3,840. You're getting paid $19 an hour.
Oh my God.
Then you take away taxes, you're getting paid $13 to $15 an hour. Not including if you got a couple of people that you pay on time. You're getting paid $12 an hour.
So okay.
So
Yeah.
most managers
It's
actually take
$10.
home more. Most managers will take home more than
I'm on their side of it, Jake. They got their freedom.
what freedom? How do you have freedom when you have to
Working
work 80 to 90
70
hours a week? What freedom? What's free? Free is when nobody else can tell me who to be. That's Meek Mill's for you. I didn't know I had no rap in me.
Yeah. I was trying to.
Yeah, that's that Meek Mill,
Yeah.
Jay-Z, and Nas.
Yeah.
Jay-Z. But
That's
yeah.
that was free. Yeah, Jay-Z was on. But so you talk about that. How can you claim that you free and you're a slave to the very thing that you claim was your freedom ticket? And you don't even know how to operate out of it. Because you left your job, where you were an employee. Here's another marker.
Well, you was an employee where you didn't have to leave and think about that shit.
Nothing.
Now,
Yeah.
it's all on you, baby.
You wake up thinking about that shit. You thinking about the shit while you're dreaming. Fucking your logo chasing you in your dreams.
Facts. It's a logo chasing you. No. So even if
Y'all are dumb.
they go, the lion facing you. No, I want to sleep. No, God.
The business of your dreams turning to the business
Bro,
of your
bro,
nightmares.
think about it. You have no paid time off. You have no benefits. Most small business owners don't even have benefits. You have no benefits. You have no insurance. You ain't been to the dentist in 5 years.
Paying
You
all
ain't-
that shit out your pocket.
You paying everything out your pocket. These are truths. When you go on vacation, you working on a vacation. These are all the stuff that you have. You have no vacation.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about social media, let's talk about the influence. You spend more time finding content, creating the content, editing the content, and then interviewing people and finding who to interview and dealing with that and answering the comments. Before you know it, you taking your computer, your laptop, and everything everywhere. Y'all heard me. I don't even have Instagram on my phone.
He did tell us that. I was
And
like,
content go
I
up
ain't
every
gonna
day
lie.
on his
I
page.
got a little jealous whenever that nigga said that. That nigga said, I ain't got Instagram on my phone.
I don't have Instagram,
I was
bro.
like, what?
You cannot see. There is no Instagram. You see no Instagram on my phone. Only thing I have on my phone, I don't even know what that is. But LinkedIn.
That's old Twitter.
I got LinkedIn.
X is Twitter. Well, Twitter is X.
And content go up every day.
On all of the platforms.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we talk about the fundamentals, yes, I'm glad that you learned how to make money. That is great. But now let me teach you, if you truly want to be an entrepreneur, let me teach you how to be a CEO. Let me teach you how to really run your business. If you got partners, let me train all of you. Let us train all of you. If you know that this entrepreneur world ain't for you, but you just don't know where to get to, you got a felony. Do you know that most felons actually don't want to run their own business? They prefer stable, consistent income because when they were in jail, they had that.
Yeah, that's just their only option is a business.
So when you get your certification through us, getting that certification, us doing our character check on you, do you know that that's going to weigh heavier than your background check of your felony when we place you?
Because you already got the relationships with staffing agencies.
And businesses. So you ain't got to fake no more. Now when you can run your business, you can actually go get training and then run your business on the side. And let me just say this. This is a call to action to a lot of small business owners. It's also your fault. For the mid-market and small business, it's your fault because you didn't have an open enough organizational structure where you allowed for your team and your staff to be innovative. You didn't allow for them to build their own businesses. There's so many small business owners that could be a lot more stacked if you invested in your staff that had business ideas that they learned through your business that they wanted to go spin off on their own. We need more small businesses to be accepting of entrepreneurs. People that have the entrepreneur swag, but they're not ready yet to run a business and handle all of the responsibilities that come with it. I don't know how many entrepreneurs say that they didn't understand what IRS was.
That's scary.
That is scary.
That's
the same
scary.
IRS that take out money out your taxes every time.
Every paycheck.
Same ones that's going to knock on your door in about 4-5 years because you ain't been paying them at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Where did you keep your paper records? You're being audited.
Jay, you had a question? You said you had a question for me.
I did have a question about the automation part, right? So automation and anti-hiring, like, do you feel like there is a area for it in the job, in your business, or are you just totally like anti-automation?
I love automation.
Okay.
Bro, nothing in this world will work if people aren't involved. What is automation if people don't push the buttons and make it smarter and activate it? Automation is just, all it is just fulfilling tasks that are mundane. And what it would do, it will make the workforce become more innovative and think better.
Because now instead of doing the
Correct.
small day-to-day tasks,
Correct.
now
So there are going to be jobs open. A lot of people are scared, automation is going to take our jobs. No, it's not. Automation, once you learn automation, now you have a job in making sure that the automation works efficiently and effectively. It just elevates the way that we do the same very thing. So I think that small business, especially people that's been learning the how-tos, can actually go find jobs and fulfillments within a small and mid-sized businesses, get them $50,000 to $80,000 a year, helping them with their automation structure, implementation, efficiency models, and then be able to negotiate in their contract. If I'm able to help you become 4 to 15% more efficient, can I at least get 5% of that efficiency so that I can get them bonuses and making the company operate better? People get what you negotiate, but if you don't know how to negotiate, you think that being in this entrepreneurship world is the only place where where you can be. And I'm telling y'all this right now. A lot of you all are struggling and you don't have to struggle.
That's real.
Let that weigh on your spirit a little second.
Let it sizzle.
We just said it before, man. Look, you gotta go get a job, bro. Don't be embarrassed, like I said, because and like you just mentioned, Jake, it's not always like the same thing that what you left originally.
Correct.
'Cause to me, that was my whole thing. It's like, I'm getting paid nothing. I don't feel valued here. I can go do this on my own because I'm making more money over here.
Can I tell you why you felt that way though? Which is why majority of people feel that way. It's because you don't understand all the functions of the business.
That's 100% a fact.
That's why getting that SBP is important, the very base flagship certification that we have. Because if every person that you hired understands every function of the business, you'll say, yes, I'm just doing customer support, but I wouldn't have nobody to call if sales wasn't closing, if marketing wasn't marketing, if product development didn't create a product that sales could sell, that market can market. My job is just a small piece of a silo. So yes, I don't feel valued because you're not doing anything more valuable to the organization.
You're just a cog in the wheel.
You got to figure out how to move up the ladder across.
Correct.
Over.
And a lot of people have unrealistic expectations of what it takes to move the needle, which is why when they start their own business and they hire people, they don't even know how to communicate it because you don't even have full respect for the work in job force. And let me just be clear. 100% of the people selling courses and products right now making 100% of their money from people that have traditional jobs.
Talk to them.
So even the economy right now that's being stimulated by the gurus and course creators, their money in their pockets are being stimulated from the dreams being sold from average, everyday working world. And then when they lose or it doesn't work, they got to go back to their job, save up money again to try to take another one of your fake products. And that's a fact. If we can't deal with that fact, we can't understand the importance of the workforce and labor force. So the reason why my staff love me is because I was a great employee. I've always been a great number 2. I've always been a great number 3. I've excelled in every position that was given to me. So when I'm talking to my team, they stay with me. You want to know why? Because they understand how important that one role is for the entire wheel of the business. So when you don't answer the phone, you talk to somebody crazy in customer support, do you not understand the effects that has on us financially? And if it affects us financially, do you know what that means for your job and position?
It make it
a whole lot harder to quantify why you should be here.
And then to me, it just makes it clear. It makes people more invested.
That's right.
They understand the mission.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, I didn't talk to this person. Oh, well. It's like, nah, I'm dropping the ball and this is going to affect this person in this department. And
now I'm fucking up the money.
We could lose a client that's 50% of our payroll because I don't know how to act.
And guess what? And you were just tired of dealing with them. We got a bunch of clients, man. I ain't finna deal with that. And you don't know, they took up 50% of the retainer. So now they leave, and now you mad because I got to let you off. I got to let your entire department go, and you don't think into your head that it was your fault. But then it also goes back to the owner of that company. What trainings and certification processes and investment did you put into your staff?
What was the standard you set?
To make sure that they understood the weight of that. See, it go both ways with it. It go both ways, and that's why PSBS is standing in the gap as a bridge. We're going to check these small business and mid-sized business owners and executives to get them to understand the importance of being transparent. And then for the smaller, for the professionals, we're going to make sure that we keep them up to standard to make sure that everyone understands each weight. Because if you don't understand each weight, it's crazy. It's going to be crazy. Bro, I saw something on TikTok, and this is what let me know PSBS is needed. There was a young lady, she's working for a company. She was like, I'm working for a company, and this white manager, this white man keep being on my neck like I don't know what I'm doing because there was somebody did graffiti on like a little box outside of their office. Mm-hmm. And the city is shut down. Something's going on with the judicial or whatever. They're backlogged or something's going on. And the manager told the young lady, a black woman, and he was like, can you put in the order? So that we can, have the orders for the city come out. She gets on TikTok. The only reason I have this job is because I just want to pay my bills, and he acting like I don't know what I'm doing. It doesn't make sense to send the order in if nobody's coming in the first place. But business sense will tell her the reason why he's telling you to put the order in
the queue.
Is so that you're in the what?
Queue.
And why is the queue important?
Because it's going to go from first to last order.
So if the city is backlogged already, he's telling you to submit the order so that they can be in the queue.
Whenever they finally do.
But she didn't submit it, and she got rolled up. So she went to TikTok mad about discrimination, not being micromanaged by people that don't even understand. If they not coming out in the first place, why would I send it in? That's not your responsibility. That's not your responsibility to figure out if it makes sense or not.
Just do the job.
But it's the company's responsibility to make sure that they understand why.
Gotcha.
Because that's important too, because as an adult, you don't ever want to just be blindly told what to do and just doing it, because that's how you end up feeling not valued, right? You don't feel like you have thoughts or opinions that are valued. So if you understand if she was able to understand, like, yo, this is why I need you to do this. This is the function this plays in the business. it makes it that much more reasonable, right?
But it shows you the inadequacies of both sides of the coin. Mm-hmm. Just because you have a degree, I believe the young lady had her MBA. Just because you have a degree doesn't mean that you really understand the function of business. And just because you're hiring at a job as a manager and executive doesn't mean that, you know, like the communication is the same. But if everyone was told to get an SBP, now you understood, like, oh, that goes back to our training model. We call it the comprehension quadrant. Mm-hmm. So the first portion of it is the why. Why is this position, role, or industry important to the entire ecosystem of the business, the market, or the economy? Why is it important? Now, what about this role do I need to know? Regulations, functions, knowledge-based comprehension. What do I need to know? What's all the things I need to know to make sure that I'm knowledgeable of how to be able to maneuver with this role? The third thing of the comprehension quadrant is the when. When do I implement the stuff that I know now? When is the right time to do it? When is it important to send this order in? Mm-hmm. When is it important to launch this product in this market? The last portion of the quadrant, the comprehension quadrant, is the how. And yes, it's ours. We built it. You can't find it. It's the how. Now it's how do I do it? How do I implement it? How do I use the skills that I know to be able to make sure I can get the job done? But if I'm hiring someone just on their how and expecting that they know the why, what, and when, I'm going to be mad as a manager, as a leader, and as an owner with the fact that, why would you do that? Well, I know how to put the technology or how to create a graphic. I know how to do my videos together. I just put it up because I know how, but it's not the right time to put out that reel. It's not the right time to promote that product. It's not the right time to have that strategic partner. You know how to create strategic partnerships, but how you do it, when you do it, and what needs to be implemented before you do it, that's more important than the how. You can hire consultants to do the how, but knowing the what, why, and when, everybody fundamentally needs to understand that. And if we do not change that, I'm telling y'all this right now, you can mark my words. If this doesn't happen, I'm very scared of our future in this country with our generation and the younger generation moving forward, if they're going to be the staples of small business moving forward. I'm very scared.
And that's why PSBS is something that is needed. And that's why you got our support with it, brother. I definitely want.
I appreciate y'all being sponsors too.
Anybody that definitely is like looking, because outside of just the certification side, there's also a community for PSBS.
Oh yeah,
right?
we have professional development, over 490 hours now of professional development training. The how-tos, we call that the how-to side. How to do Facebook advertising, how to do marketing, how to run your operations, how to run your HR. These are the how-tos, and we're continuously going to add to it.
Gotcha. So for somebody that wants to be involved in either the society or in the certification program, how do they get involved?
Yeah, all you got to do is go to thepsbs.com and then, click join. There'll be a click, like a document that you can fill out, and then one of our recruiters will reach out to you and see if it's a fit for where you want to go with your career. And if our certifications actually match you. And if it is, we do have financial aid to where you can actually apply and get approved and walk through with zero money down. And you can get enrolled into our program and then start monthly payments for your certification pathway after a month of being with us.
Hey, and then so also the other side, once they go through the placement, is that going to be implemented right off the bat as well?
Yep. So placement, it'll be about somebody go through the pathway that's needed. Mm-hmm. The placement begins to happen once they start getting into their ET, their executive trainer, advanced. We start looking for placements that actually make sense for them.
Gotcha, because you need to know the industry.
Correct. And everything. But we also look at how engaged they were with their professional development on the other side. Because the certification teaches you the knowledge base and situational, but the professional development side teaches the how. So if I want to get a specialty in operations, I need to have watched a lot of trainings on professional development side, which is the society on operations and structure and stuff like that. So that when we're placing you, the person that we're placing you with knows that you're up to date on the know-how and kind of implementing. And the best part about being a part of our community while you're getting placed is the fact that you can always call and ask us with our open houses, our open hours, that you can ask us, these things are going on within the company. How can I, be a better add to them, and we can continue to give you that advice that you need moving forward.
Okay, that's a bet.
So the placements are good. And your first 1 or 2 placements won't always be the big dinger, right? The first 1 or 2 placements, those are your, we just want to get you more per hour than you're actually getting, so you can prove your skill sets. If you already are coming with a proven record within your business that you ran for some time, or a history with that, we'll be able to use that a part of your resume and then get you, higher placements to do it. But our overall goal is potentially in the future, we want to be placing top level executives within small and mid-sized businesses all over the country.
So listen, guys, y'all want to get involved with PSBS, man, Private Small Business Society. We're going to have a link down there in the show notes for y'all. Y'all know we always got that for y'all. Y'all check it out. I encourage everybody to read the State of Small Business Rolling Report. Very interesting insights in there, man. I'm not going to lie to nobody. Very interesting insights. It's like, he is not just talking here, guys. When you start looking at the quantitative data behind this thing, we talked about it earlier in the episode. Man, them 200 questions, they get real deep. And a lot of them, the answers, I'm like, oh, shit.
And you see the percentage of people what they're answering. You're like,
it's like some of these no's are concerning. No budget? No financial plan? No,
you don't know what a balance sheet is?
Oh, no financial projections? None of that. I was like, yeah, man. I mean, you would think, too, like, because our business, we ain't making $2 billion plus a year.
Yeah.
You would think once somebody gets to that scale, that's considered a successful business, that this would be something that they're doing. But a lot of times we're out here just winging it,
and they're hemorrhaging cash, and they are affecting their future exit, or even successfully passing down their business to heirs or successors. And so I want to start this by, I want to end my piece by saying this, J&D, is that this was built off of a broken place for me. As a CEO, I found so many areas that I was weak at, subpar at, that I tried to overshadow with other things that the bigger you grow, you just can't. You have to train. And so fortunately and unfortunately, I learned my weaknesses and I grew from them from a $4 million loss. And our goal is to actually teach and train people in the right way from the areas that we failed at, what we didn't do good at, but also in the areas that we are good and capable at as well. And so when we talk about these dynamics, listen, we have some powerful people coming to the PSBS to come and work with us and help build curriculums. People from Goldman Sachs, people from Deloitte. We got some people from educational institutions that are going to come and add value too. So when we talk about becoming the standard, just us recruiting in our team and what we're looking to build, it's going to be something magical. Looking forward.
Hey, man, I'm excited to see where this goes. Once again, we're happy to sponsor this.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Happy to just see what you guys are building over there, and
addressing a need in the market that needs.
We know that a lot of small businesses are going to change through this, and we're going to strengthen the small business in America.
Yeah,
so
that's good.
I'm going for it, man. Yeah, I love it.
Yes, indeed. So before we kind of get into the last segments of the show, it was something that we posted that I wanted to talk about today. So economists are predicting that the Fed is going to cut interest rates 6 times in the next year. They're saying that right now the economy is showing signs of cooling off. The jobs market is still pretty strong.
9.6 million open right now still, yep.
Yeah, so they say it's a strong job market. And in terms of inflation, things have been slowing down. So I just kind of want to get y'all opinions on what do y'all think, how that would affect the business landscape, right? Because in this rising inflation and interest rate environment, we noticed it got a lot bleaker for a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
I know they said Black Friday this year was one of the biggest online, but nobody was in stores shopping. Yeah. And that's a whole nother aspect of it. So I just kind of want to get y'all opinion on what does that outlook from economists kind of think for you with business?
The prices aren't going down though.
You believe so? I seen a thing Joe Biden was talking about, like businesses are overcharging at this point because inflation is under control. Yeah, and prices aren't going down. And I don't see businesses going down on prices as long as we continue to pay. Yeah, ExxonMobil pulled the greatest finesse of all time.
Hell yeah,
a couple years ago.
2022.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Whenever gas prices was super high that summer, They're like, yeah, man, the supply chain issues. And then they double back and like, we had our best quarter ever.
Record earnings.
12 billion profit. It's like, oh, okay, y'all bitches.
Yeah, facts. But the thing is that a lot of people are holding their breath for the market and prices to go back to what they used to be.
Yeah.
But I don't foresee, because you got to think about it. Why would the housing market drop its prices again?
And so once again, this is taking it and looking at it from an economic lens too. It's supply versus demand and all of that too.
Demand
like the
still outpacing supply for housing.
like the supply for the homes is not there. We got jobs, but do we have the supply of the human resources who can fill those said jobs?
Yes.
Or do they even want to fill those jobs? So once again, those are some of the things that I'm kind of looking at. I do think for the prices to fall, it's going to have to be something astronomical. Like, once again, like what you just said with Black Friday, a lot of people weren't in the store. So
or buying online.
They had a bulk of product in there. Are they just going to ship that product online and now, that covers for that? Or did they actually put in an over, produce product that's now going to sit on the shelves and now it's got to come down because we got to move it?
Let me ask y'all a question. When have y'all seen gas go back to 99 cents?
Shit.
But I have seen it go down more.
To
but
what?
99 cents.
What's the lowest gas been since we've been adults? Like 2 something?
Like in 2020, that shit was low, nigga.
It was what?
It was like.
It wasn't $1.90.
That gas was kind of cheap around.
Nah, man, that shit wasn't that cheap, bro.
That gas was kind of cheap.
I ain't never paid less than $2 for gas.
Let me tell you, what's going to happen when the interest rates go down, people are going to start borrowing more. You got more liquidity, access to capital.
That's all.
And they're just going to start buying products
cycle,
at this price that it is currently.
It's an economic cycle.
Again,
you got pumping, you got contracting.
That's correct.
And all of that shit. Right now, until something happens to make us contract, it is what it is.
I mean, they've been forcing contraction, right? That's why they've been raising interest rates. They're trying to make it get to that soft landing. But to Jake's point,
well, how'd your prices drop?
But exactly, people are still spending money. That's what I'm getting across too. Like, people are still spending money unless it's something astronomical that says we not spending money. These products are not moving. The demand is not there. We're not going to cut the prices.
Yeah,
and if interest rates go down, prices just going to actually start going back up again.
Because you got to think about it. There's money's back flowing.
Yeah.
So the only reason that people aren't buying is because money's not flowing as fluid. So it's kind of that's all that it is. And so again, it's going to go right back to business fundamentals and structure, and just to make sure it's good. Because all I see is that if we don't stop, you're going to see a bunch of people on TikTok, on Instagram, because Meta just did a deal with Amazon that they're going to create some type of Amazon shop like TikTok shop has with Meta. Yep. They did it within the last couple of months.
It makes sense because they've been had the shopping feature.
But with Amazon, that's a different.
Yeah, they didn't activate it.
That's a different level of insight with Amazon, like how they just did that Black Friday.
But TikTok's smashing right now. TikTok's smashing.
Talk about that. How much time we got left on this one?
I mean, let's see. Oh shit.
Yeah, TikTok's smashing right now. And so you think about it. Now you got a bunch of influencers and people, They're just working for these platforms without any guarantee or nothing of income that can change at any time. Schedules can change at any time. There's no say so. So if we don't fix small business America, everybody finna just be working for these big enterprises, and that's going to be
working for a non-guaranteed
paycheck enterprise.
Fuck that. That is scary. Fuck that.
Think about it. And they can change comp plans at will. And they can change, they can make it harder for you to get certain products sold, or there's so much stuff that can be changed. And you see
Amazon
so many people.
Sure do be competing with them Amazon basics.
Trying to tell you, bro.
Hell yeah. Well, shit, we can wrap this one up, man. Do you want to do the questions? Because I know
we asked them.
Yeah, we that's why I was.
So we already know insurance important to this, man.
Yeah, so we're not even gonna go into that last spiel and everything. Jake, once again, appreciate you for the hospitality. Appreciate you for coming on. We love what you're doing with the Private Small Business Society. You seeing the need in the community as a whole, as America. It doesn't matter the color or anything like that, but just seeing that the state of where small businesses are. Appreciate you for making this product, man. I am going to be enrolling in this as well.
It's
so
gonna be good.
we going through this.
education.
Yeah,
Yes.
we going through this as well. So you got any final words? Let them know where they can follow you. Once again, let them know where they can go to get into the society. Or once again, can they just do the professional development if they
if they just want to do professional development and they don't want to get into the certification, they can just join the society as annual membership. So they can get the professional development that they need. If they wanted to just see how we train and how we teach, they can join the private small business society on the professional development side, just to get a gauge of how we teach and how involved our community is. We currently have over 2,020 active members that are inside of our community right now, all over the country, and honestly, all over the globe, because we do have some people that's in our society that run they have $1 million plus YouTube platforms that's in India. Like we got some quality people that's within our society right now that I'm excited about, regardless of color, black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian.
I love it. I love it. Money green. It's Black Wealth Renaissance, and we love to see green money.
Yeah, y'all see the green behind them.
Yeah, you see it. You see it. So Jake, before we let you out of here, I actually have a request of you.
What's up?
I want you to give us the 10-question quiz, and I want to see where PWR stands. Yeah, bitch.
Oh,
questions and answers yet. Me neither. So
That's gonna be good. Okay, I'm excited about that.
David, you did that.
All right, so
put your phone down.
so
brother.
y'all want 5 questions or 10 questions?
You can give us 5.
5 questions. Put the phone down, little cheetah. All right, so
Give them to us random because we might have read some.
No,
of
I
them
really
joints.
did. My mama was.
Okay.
this is gonna be multiple choice.
All right.
A, B, C, D. Okay. First question is, what is the primary purpose of a business plan? That's a question. What is the primary purpose of a business plan? A, to guide the operational strategy of the business. B, to keep track of employee performance. C, to calculate the exact profit margin. Or D, to monitor social media trends.
Hey,
What do you say?
My initial answer was B.
Okay, you going with B?
Yeah.
So the answer is A, to guide operational strategy of business. Your answer, to keep track of employee performance.
Oh shit, I can remember what
Right.
gonna be with damn.
All right, so we won't do 3 answers. I'll just do 4 answers. We'll do 3. So help you out. So help you remember. 2, which of the following is a key component of effective marketing? Okay, so which of the following is a key component of effective marketing? A, focusing solely on traditional advertising. B, ignoring online marketing channels. C, understanding and targeting the right audience.
see.
What do you got?
I'm going with C as well.
That correct answer is C. Yeah, I know that marketing, don't y'all?
Hey,
We got here somehow.
Okay.
I'm about to bat 1,000 on them.
Okay.
I really didn't look,
Now,
but
these are the easiest questions.
I was about
though.
to
Don't
say,
get
don't
too
be-
excited now.
This is the SBP question.
Yeah, this ain't no, you know what I mean? All right, so 3. What is the main goal of customer relationship management? So CRM. A, to reduce the number of employees. B, to improve customer relationship and satisfaction. C, to increase the cost of goods sold.
I'm going with B.
Good, that's correct. To improve customer relationship and satisfaction. In a SWOT analysis, what does the S stand for?
strengths.
Okay, you got it. That's correct.
Yeah, you let the man get the question off.
That is good. Okay. Which of the following best describes market segmentation?
Ooh, let's get it. Let's
That
get
is
it.
a really good
Okay,
one.
y'all ready? Market segmentation. All right. A, dividing a market into distinct groups of buyers with different needs. B, the process of setting prices for products. C, creating multiple marketing strategies for all customers. Or D, focusing only on the most profitable customers.
Hey,
What you got?
Can you repeat A?
A is dividing a market into distinct groups of buyers with different needs.
And what's B?
B is the process of setting prices for products. C is creating multiple marketing strategies for all customers.
I'm gonna go with C.
Okay, the answer is A, dividing a market into distinct groups of buyers with different needs.
This bitch winked at me. Hey, we're done. Cut the show. I'm done.
you got
Oh, okay, no, let me stump him.
Yeah,
This is Stump Jalen. Right?
Let's go.
This is a series of Stump Jalen. All right, you ready? Which financial statement provides a snapshot of a company's financial position at a specific point in time? Okay. A, income statement. B, cash flow statement. C, balance sheet. D, equity statement.
Okay, now repeat the question one more time.
The question is, which financial statement provides a snapshot of a company's financial position at a specific point in time? A, income statement. B, cash flow statement. C, balance sheet. D, equity statement.
Income statement.
What you got?
I'm going with C.
The answer is C, balance sheet.
Let's go.
You got me.
And we officially stumped Jay. Let's get it.
Let's
I ain't
get
gonna
it.
lie. Accounting was always my worst part.
But Jake, brother,
Once I heard that accounting question,
appreciate it. Appreciate it. You got
Jay
it.
said, I got this one. D said, I got this one right here.
Yeah, I do that one.
I knew that. Oh, you talking about finances?
Let's go. But man, again, this has been great, y'all. This was fun. So PSBS, y'all, lock in, tap in. Y'all need this knowledge. Obviously, you can see I could use a bit of it.
Yeah.
Marketing and finance. I got that shit down. When it gets to that operational stuff, you know, we working on it.
We
all
working on it. There we
all
go.
works in progress.
That's right.
If y'all want to work on it with us, y'all go to thepsbs.com. And y'all, man, sign up, brother. Y'all come join us in the community. I be in there every now and again. I might talk some shit.
Yeah, there you go.
You know what I'm saying? You know, come.
Hell yeah.
Hopefully
talk
we'll
with
get
us.
them to make a couple of curriculums.
Hey, I'm down.
Social media marketing.
Yeah.
Organic.
I'm down.
I think that'll be great.
Building it from the scratch.
I think that'll be
I
great.
got some stuff for podcasting too that
I think that'll be great. I think that'll be amazing.
Hey, let's make it happen.
got a
Well,
few other
family,
ideas too.
Okay.
Wealth builders. Until next time, this is David.
And Jalen,
Got Jake right here.
Hey.
Jake.
Stop
What's up?
having doubts.
signing
What's
out.
the point of having clout if you can't cash it out?